Hello, everyone. Board Game Lawyer here. It's Saturday evening, and I've got some time off for the next few days, and so I thought I would unwind by playing some Marvel Champions from Fantasy Flight Games. And so, yeah, I just like to play casual Marvel Champions, and so I've recently enjoyed playing against the Sandman, so I thought I'd play against him again this evening. And so let's take a look at the Sandman. He has a scheme of 1. He has an attack of 2. He has the Sandblast ability. When Sandman attacks you, that attack deals indirect damage. If your identity takes any amount of damage from that attack, resolve the Surging Sands ability on the city streets, which is an environment that we have in play over here. Okay, so we're going to be playing against Standard Sandman today. He's going to be starting the game with 16 hit points. So I have Sandman 1 and 2 here. His main scheme is Hapless Pedestrians. It says that our contents should be Sandman. Of course, we have that in our encounter deck today. We also included City and Chaos and the standard encounter sets. It recommends one modular encounter set, Down to Earth. I took that out, and I decided to put in Running Interference, so Tombstone is running around in the encounter deck today. It says set up, search the encounter deck and the city streets for the city streets environment and put it into play and place 4 sand counters on it. So here's our city streets ability. It says Surging Sand Special. Place 1 sand counter here. Discard cards from the top of the encounter deck equal to the number of sand counters here. Hero action. Exhaust a character you control. Remove sand counters from here equal to the character's attack. Limit once per round per player. So that is a hero action that Vision, we're going to be playing with Vision today, can take while he is in hero form. One of our friendly characters can remove counters from the city streets. Okay, so it begins with 4, as it stated. Counters on it, and Hapless Pedestrians. Side 1B reads, Forced response after an acceleration token is placed on the scheme. Deal 3 indirect damage to the first player. If this stage is completed, the players lose the game. It begins with 2 threat, and it threats at 9. That's when the game would end. So let me find my 2 threat here to place on Hapless Pedestrians. That's all the setup it takes for Sandman. Nice and simple. So I'll go ahead and give my encounter deck a quick shuffle. We got the Tombstone in there with his cards today, so that could cause us some problems. We're playing Vision today. He's going to be playing in protection mode. And so if you're aware of this game, protection can be one of those aspects that can run a little bit long. And so I'm not sure how my deck's going to do today. I don't have a lot of games logged with Vision, but I do like Vision. And so we'd see how this works out today. Let's take a look at his card. He has a thwart of 2. He has an attack of 0 and a defense of 2. He has density, manipulation, action, change mass form by flipping your mass form upgrade over, limit once per round. So here's our mass form upgrade. It has both an intangible and a dense side. So we'll be using that. This is a permanent upgrade that will come into play during our setup part of our game today. So I'm going to set that off to the side for now. Let's look at our alter ego form of Vision. He says while you are in dense mass form, you get +2 recovery, or while you're in intangible mass form, you get +1 hand size. Setup, put your mass form upgrade into play, intangible side face up. And of course, if you know about the how the game sets up, the setup portion of the game takes place after you draw cards. So we'll put our alter ego Vision out into play. He comes into play with 11 hit points. He has a hand size of 5 when he's in an alter ego. And I decided to build a deck of 50 cards today. It seems like whenever I build a protection deck, that I break my own personal rule, which is to try to stick right at 40. But for some reason, whenever I play protection, I like to add a few extra cards into my deck. And that's one nice thing about Marvel Champions is they give you a little bit of latitude as far as your deck construction. You can build a 40-card deck, or you can build up to a 50-card deck. So that's a neat rule that I think the designers built into this game so that you can decide how you want to play your deck. You're not locked into a particular deck size. So we're playing with a big, thick 50-card deck today in our in our vision deck. So our hand size is 5, so let's draw our hand up. It's Solar Beam is our first card that we draw, and it's an event. Oh, we got 2 Solar Beams. We have Expert Defense, Machine Man, and Reboot. So we have a defense event that we're not probably going to use. I may not even flip over to my hero form here in the first game, so unfortunately both of these Solar Beams, which do 7 damage to an enemy or remove 5 threat, and we're probably going to end up discarding those. Reboot, probably discard that as well. Machine Man, that's a good question. Do I want to hang on to Machine Man? Not really. I think I'll discard Machine Man too. We're just going to mulligan our whole hand off here, and we'll draw 5 new cards. So we have Electrostatic Armor, we have Preemptive Strike, we draw the Power of Protection, we also have Density Control, and we have Solar Gem. Ooh, yeah. Vision gains the aerial trait, resource, exhaust Solar Gem to generate a wild resource. So a wild resource that we can use throughout the game we managed to pick up. Okay, so as far as our setup is concerned, it says put your mass form upgrade into play, intangible side up. So here's our intangible form. It's an upgrade, it's permanent, it's a mass form. It says Vision cannot attack or defend. Reduce the amount of damage Vision takes from each attack by 2. Then, of course, there's this dense form, too, that he can flip to. But he can only flip to that whenever he's in his hero mode, which that's our density manipulation action. Change mass form by flipping your mass form upgrade over limit once per round. So that's how that works. All right, excellent. So, let's see what I've got in my hand. I do have a couple of upgrades that I really like. I like the Solar Gem, so I think we'll play that on the table. And we'll use a couple of resources. We'll use Preemptive Strike, and we'll use the Power of Protection to put out the Solar Gem. All right. Density Control. After you change mass form, discard this card. Add a Vision event from your discard pile to your hand. Or we have the Electrostatic Armor. Play under any player's control, max 1 per player. After you defend against an attack, deal 1 damage to the attacking character. I do like Electrostatic Armor, so we'll exhaust Solar Gem to put it into play. That's a great defense card. And then it's going to cost us... It's not going to cost us anything because we use our Solar Gem, our wild resource, to put Electrostatic Armor into play. All right, so if I decide to go ahead, which I will, flip over to my Vision form here. So he's now in his hero form with 2 thwart, 2 attack, 2 defense. His intangible side says Vision cannot attack or defend. Reduce the amount of damage Vision takes from each attack by 2. And I think what I'll do is I will flip over to my dense form, because this says, so this is the action that I'm using to flip my forms. Mass form permanent. While in hero form, Vision gets +2 attack and +2 defense response. After you change to this form, I can draw a card. So we're going to draw Multiple Man, unfortunately. Wow. Drew up Multiple Man. I'm going to hang on to Multiple Man, I think. Now, the density control. After you change mass form, discard this card. Add a Vision event from your discard pile to your hand. I was hoping for a card that I could put this on the table with to go find one of our Vision events. We had a couple of Vision events here. Solar Beam. Well, that's okay. We'll just use Multiple Man to pay for it. We'll get as many cards on the table as we can during turn 1. So we're going to spin Multiple Man, which is going to kill the rest of a Multiple Man in our deck probably, because he's only beneficial if you really spend those 4 resources to bring out all 3 Multiple Mans from your deck. So we'll go ahead and spin Multiple Man to put Density Control onto the table. It's a hero response. After you change mass form, discard this card. Add a Vision event from your discard pile to your hand. So we've already changed form this turn, and you can do it a limit of once per round. So this is not even really helping me right now, but it could help me in future turns. Okay. So with vision now, he has +2 attack. So 0 + 2. I think what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and attack. And what this hero action allows us to do is exhaust a character that we control to remove sand counters from here equal to that character's attack. So instead of attacking Sandman, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove 2 sand counters from the city streets. So I take off the 3 and put back the 1. So Vision's turn is done. He does have his dense form. He's got his solar gem out. He has electrostatic armor and density control. And while he is dense, he says that he has a +2 defense. After you change to this form, draw 1 card. Okay, so Vision, his turn is done. We'll draw up our hand size of 5. So we have Flow Like Water. I really like that one. I like Hard to Ignore as well. These are both great upgrades. We have the Jump Flip. That's good. We have the Sidestep. That's also nice. And we have the Armored Vest. Okay, so we have some nice upgrades. Armored Vest, Flow Like Water, Hard to Ignore, and Jump Flip. And we've got a Sidestep. It says when you would take any amount of damage, prevent 3 of that damage. If you paid for this card using an energy resource, deal 1 damage to an enemy. I don't have any energy resources in my hand, but Jump Flip says when you would take any amount of damage, prevent 2 of that damage. If you paid for this using a energy resource, remove 2 threat from the main scheme. Again, we're a little bit light on resources, but keep in mind that we do have our solar gem over here, which we can exhaust to generate a wild resource. So just much of it depends on how which card he draws, because it says after when you would take any amount of damage and when you would take any amount of damage. So these are ones that we can determine after we decide if we're going to be taking any damage or not. So all right, so we're going to place 1 threat on hapless pedestrians. Sandman is going to attack Vision. Vision's going to defend. He has a defensive 2 because of his dense ability. And we draw the Sand form attached to Sandman. Forced Interrupt. When you would deal any amount of damage to Sandman, discard Sand form. Instead, resolve the Surging Sands ability on the city streets. Nice thing about it being a boost card is it doesn't add anything to his attack. So his attack is 2. My defense is 2. I don't take any damage. So city streets will not surge during at least this attack. So let's go ahead and draw our encounter card and see what we get. We got Gang Up. This card gains Surge if I'm in alter ego form, but it doesn't. So it says the villain and each minion engage with you attacks you. So the Gang Up card is played. He's going to attack me. I already defended once. He's going to attack me for 2 plus 0 for the assault. So now I can use one of these defense cards. I can either use Sidestep, or I could use the Jump Flip. When you take any amount of damage, prevent 2 of that damage. If you paid for this using a energy resource, remove 2 threat from the main scheme. I think because if I do any damage, I'll hit the Sand form. Instead, I'm going to exhaust the solar gem to play the Jump form. I didn't take any damage, so I can remove 2 threat from the main scheme. That is handy. Okay, so Gang Up is gone. Glad to see that go. I'm also glad to see the assault card go. And I'm glad to see 2 threat to be removed off of hapless pedestrians. All right. So, Vision's turn. He's exhausted. His solar gem is also exhausted, but we do have some nice upgrades that we can add to the table. I like Hard to Ignore. I like Flow Like Water, and I liked Armored Vest. Let's see here. We did Electrostatic Armor. It says after you defend against an attack, deal 1 damage to the attacking character. You know what? That response should have knocked the Sand form off and caused the city streets to go. But is that a voluntary response? After you defend against an attack, deal 1 damage to the attacking character. Yeah, after you... Okay, so let's say that second attack, because this is a response, it says after you defend against an attack, deal 1 damage to the attacking character. I assume it's one that you have to choose to trigger. It doesn't say that it's automatic or that it's necessary, so that second attack, we'll go ahead and trigger that sand form. Because we did defend, we're going to deal 1 damage to the attacking character, but this forced interrupt says when you would deal any amount of damage to Sandman, discard sand form instead, resolve the surging sands ability on the city streets. So we'll go ahead and put that 1 token over there. And we will discard 3 cards. So we discard the Sandstorm. We also discard the Dirt Trap. Not sad to see that go. And the other Dirt Trap. So 2 of the Dirt Traps that are in my deck are both gone now. Won't have to deal with those through this pass through the encounter deck. Assume that response is one that I can choose to use or not. So I'd rather use it during that second attack anyway. Okay. My turn. I have no resources on the table. I have this hero response. After you change mass form, discard this card. Add a vision event from your discard pile to your hand. You have to discard it in order to do that. And it's a hero response. I'm not really that interested in doing it right now. I think what I'm going to do now is just use this turn as kind of a setup turn. So we do want to put the Armored Vest and the Flow Like Water on the table. And we'll use these 2 resources here, Sidestep and Hard to Ignore. We'll use both of these to put out the Armored Vest and the Flow Like Water. All right. So now we've got 2 more upgrades. We'll flip to our intangible form while we're in our hero form. And then we'll also flip to our vision form because it will allow us to get a +1 hand size. So I get to draw up 6 cards this turn. So electrostatic armor, we got the solar gem, armored vest, flow like water. We're building up a nice board state. We'll draw up 6 cards. And so we draw mass increase, desperate defense, Jocasta. We have lockjaw, vision's cape, and Victor Mancha. So that's our hand going into our next round. We'll place 1 threat over there on those hapless pedestrians, and then he's going to scheme for 1 plus a star. It says boost, resolve this card's when revealed ability. It says when revealed, place 2 sand counters on city streets, then resolve its surging sands ability. If at least 1 Sandman card was discarded this way, you are stunned. So we have to place 2 sand counters on the city streets. So we'll change out one of those 1s to a 3. And by rights, yep, that's it right there. And now we have to discard 5 cards. Discard 5 cards. So we discard the Sand Clone. So it says, if at least 1 Sandman card was discarded this way, you are stunned. So we're stunned. That's our first one. Our second one is Shadows of the Past. Third one is another Sand Clone. Fourth one is Panic in the Streets. And the 5th one is the Sand Smash. So those are our 5 cards because of our boost, special boost icon that we discard. And then we do place 1 threat on the main scheme because of this was a scheme action. I'm stunned. Now we draw our encounter card for Sandman, and it is the title Sands. When revealed, place 1 additional threat here where X is equal to the number of sand counters. Oh, it says place X additional threat here where X is equal to the number of sand counters on city streets. So this is a bummer right now because we just added a couple more. Now we're up to 5. So 5, 6, 7 is what goes on the title Sands. That is unfortunate. All right. Sandman's building his board up just like we are. So he's digging his heels in, and so are we. So we are stunned. Unfortunately, we are stunned. All right, so it's Vision's turn. We have the solar gem. We're intangible. We're stunned. We have a hand size of 6, an armored vest, flow like water, electrostatic armor, and density control. So is there anything that we can do in alter ego form? We don't have any alter ego abilities out there necessarily. It says when you're in dense mass form, you gain retaliate 1. When you're in tangible mass form, you gain stalwart. Ooh, stalwart. So I could attack for 0 to clear that stunned. Is that right? No. I need 2 of them in order to be stunned, so I can't clear them until I'm stunned. So, all right, so we have Desperate Defense, Mass Increase, play only if Vision is in dense form. When Vision defends, prevent all damage from that attack, stun the attacking enemy after that attack resolves. That's a nice event card for when we get attacked. Victor Mancha is nice to have as well. So let's think about what we want to do here. I think I'm full strength, so I might as well just go ahead and flip over to my Vision form. And if I were to attack Sandman, that would allow me to clear that stun card, which I'd like to do. Get that off of me. Now whenever I'm in intangible, I'm in hero form, I can flip over to the dense form. I can draw a card. So we draw Nerves of Steel. I really like Nerves of Steel. That is a good one. I think we'll put Nerves of Steel on the table. The nice thing about it is it's an upgrade. It says play under any player's control, max 1 per player. Exhaust Nerves of Steel, generate a energy resource for a defense event. So if I spend a solar gem and I spend Lockjaw, I can put out Nerves of Steel, and I have another upgrade on the table that I can use whenever I play defense events. Okay, Jocasta. Let's see. I have an event, an upgrade, and an upgrade. So if I spend... All right, so I did flip over to dense form. After you change mass form, discard this card and 1 vision event from your discard pile to your hand. Let's take a look and see if whenever we flip to that dense form, if there's anything in here that would have been worthwhile for us. We do have that solar beam, and we can do a lot of damage with that solar beam. We've got Jocasta, Victor Mancha, Vision's Cape, and Desperate Defense. 1, 2. Mass Increase. Play of Vision is in dense mass form. Hero Interrupt. When Vision defends, prevent all damage from that attack. Stun the attacking enemy after the attack resolves. We may hang on to that card. And where I'm getting at is we probably want to put Vision's Cape onto the table. So we use Desperate Defense and Jocasta to put Vision's Cape out. That's another upgrade. And it says when you are in dense form, which we are right now, you gain Retaliate. While you're in intangible mass form, you gain Stalwart. Okay, so we'll hang on to Mass Increase, because we're going to remain in dense form. When he defends, prevent all damage, stun the attacking enemy after it resolves. I like that. And we have electrostatic armor as well. So we can start, we're going to start doing retaliations with the different upgrades that we have on the table. I like that. And then Flow Like Water says after you play a defense card, which this is, deal 1 damage to the attacking enemy. So we can start doing these paper cuts on Sandman as we go. All right. So I'm going to draw my hand size up to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We have Vivian, Reboot, Defense, a Desperate Defense, Victor Mancha, Mass Increase. All right. Let's ready up our character and our upgrades. So Sandman's going to place 1 threat on hapless pedestrians. There he goes. He's going to attack us. So I think I will play the Desperate Defense. When your hero defends against an attack, it gets +2 for a defensive attack. If you take no damage from that attack, ready your hero, or we could play Mass Increase. Play only if Vision is in dense mass form. Hit or enter. When Vision defends, prevent all damage from that attack. Stun the attacking enemy after the attack resolves. So do I want to stun him, or do I want to damage him, and do I want to remain upright? He deals 2. Can I play them both? When Vision defends, prevent all damage. When your hero defends, it gets +2. Let's do them both. Why not? Can we do them both? Is that a bad idea? Possibly. Okay, so I'm going to use both of these. I'm going to use Desperate Defense and Mass Increase, which are both defense events. When Vision defends, so he's going to defend. So Flow Like Water says after you play a defense card, deal 1 damage to the attacking enemy. So Increase, Mass Increase, and Desperate Defense. We're playing both of these. So we're going to do 2 damage to Sandman. He's going to draw his boost, which is 0. So he does 2 damage to us, which we have 2 defense. So he doesn't do any damage to us. So Desperate Defense goes off. I took no damage, so I can ready my hero. Mass Increase says when Vision defends, prevent all damage from that attack. Stun the attacking enemy after the attack resolves. So he will be stunned. I have Retaliate because of Vision's cape, so that'll do another damage. And I have Electrostatic Armor, which will do 1 more damage. Okay, so I had to spend my Solar Gem and my Reboot card to play both of these. So like I said, it's like paper cuts. You know what? I could have exhausted Nerves of Steel to generate an energy resource, which I think I will, so I'm going to keep one of those cards. I think I'm going to keep the Reboot card. Yep. I'm going to keep Reboot in my hand. Yes, I am, for sure. All right, so that's the end of his attack. So because we have Tidal Sands on the board, now I have to deal myself 2 encounter cards. So here's our first one, and here's our second. We'll flip our first one. It's an advance. So Sandman is going to scheme for 1 plus 1 is 2. I'm going to put 5 over there and remove 3. So that way we can easily see now that the hapless pedestrians is now up to 6. Not good. And our second one is Rhino Steady. Steady characters require 2 status cards of the same type to be stunned or confused. Rhino's attacks gain Overkill and Piercing. So we're going to put Rhino right here. He has 8 hit points, a scheme of 0, an attack of 3. That just built Sandman's board up even further. All right, is there any way to get this guy, Rhino, off the board? I only have 3 cards in hand because I spent 2. I've got Victor Mancha, Reboot, Vivian. Rhino schemes for 0. We are getting dangerously high on our hapless pedestrians over there. So I do think that during this turn we're just going to try to remove some threat. So I'll spend these 2 resources here, Victor Mancha and Reboot, to put out Vivian. Okay, Vivian comes out onto the table. So while we are in intangible form, Vivian gets +2 thwart. So I will flip over to intangible form, but I'm going to first remove 2 threat from hapless pedestrians using vision. So this is going to drop down by 2. We'll flip over to our intangible form. And then that will allow for Vivian to remove 3 threat from hapless pedestrians. It will require her to take 1 consequential damage, but it does get 3 off of there. Probably should be taking care of Tidal Sands or Rhino, but right now we're just not in a very good position for that. We just didn't have enough cards in our hand that turn to be able to take care of some of these bigger threats over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to handle the main scheme. We have nothing else that we can do on the table right now currently. I don't have any cards left in my hand. So we're ready, Vivian. Well, we're going to flip over to our vision form. That will allow us to get our hand size of 6. And he, instead of attacking us, he will throw some threat down. Ready the solar gem, draw 6 cards. So we have jump flip, and we have multiple man. We've got just passing through, strength, first aid, and the power of protection. Okay. So Sandman places that 1 threat as usual onto his hapless pedestrians over there. He's going to scheme for 1 plus 1 is 2. Remove a 1 and put 3 out, so he has 4 threat on hapless pedestrians. Rhino is going to scheme for 0. It says that he has nothing. He doesn't scheme for anything. 2 encounter cards. We draw now or never peril. While you're resolving this card, other players cannot help you. When revealed, choose to place 1 acceleration token on the main scheme or exhaust a character you control and spend 1 resource of any type. If I place that 1 acceleration token on hapless pedestrians, that's going to haunt us for the rest of the game. So I think it may be worth our while just to exhaust our character here and to spend 1 resource of any type. Let's see what we spend. How about we spend the multiple man, the mental resource. So that's our first encounter card. Our second encounter card will be media coverage attached to your identity card. Resolve when revealed ability. Let's read that again. Attached to your identity card. Resolve each when revealed ability that you reveal 1 additional time. Alter ego, spend a mental resource to discard this card. Okay, did I throw away my mental resource? Here's 1 here. Okay. Media coverage attached to your identity. Resolve each when revealed ability that you reveal 1 additional time. I really don't want to do that too often. So, let's do this. How about we flip over. Nope, let's go ahead and take care of that card on alter ego action, spend a mental resource. We'll go ahead and spend first aid to get rid of media coverage. That needs to go away, I think. Then if we flip over to our hero form, it says while you're in intangible form, Vivian gets +2 thwart. So that could remove some threat off of the Tidal Sands, and I really would like for that to happen. Let's do it. So Vivian is going to remove 3 threat from Tidal Sands. So it'll be 7. It'll drop down to 4. Vivian is discarded. And we have Just Passing Through. Play a vision is in intangible form. Hero action. Remove 3 threat from a scheme, ignoring the patrol keyword and the crisis icon. So yeah, let's do that. Remove 3 threat from a scheme, ignoring the patrol keyword and the crisis icon. Okay, so we'll use the jump flip to play the Just Passing Through, right? Remove 3 threat from Tidal Sands. Then we've got the Power of Protection and Strength in our hand. Now we'll flip over to our Dense form, which allows us to draw a card. And we have Super Dense Strike. Play only if vision is in dense form. Hero action. Deal 5 damage to an enemy. This attack gains piercing. And we have Density Control. After you change mass form, discard this card. Add a vision event from your discard pile to your hand. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Density Control. We're going to add a vision event from our discard pile to our hand. Discarding Density Control. Let's go find one of those big attacks that we threw away early on. Let's grab the Solar Beam out. It says the vision is in dense mass form. Deals 7 damage to an enemy. So we'll use the Strength and the Super Dense Strike to do the Solar Beam. And we'll do 7 damage onto the Rhino over there. Seven damage on Rhino. I don't have anything else that I can do this turn. But I do think I'll hang on to that Power of Protection, and we'll draw up 4 more cards because our hand size now is 5 to end our turn. So we have Super Dense Strike. We've got Phase Disruption. We've got First Aid and Preemptive Strike. Have anything that I can prevent damage from? Nope, nothing. Play only if I'm in intangible form. So we place that 1 threat on Hapless Pedestrians. Sandman is stunned, so he's not going to attack us. Rhino is going to attack Vision. I think we're going to defend it. So at least we'll block 2 with our defense. So he'll do 1 damage to Vision. And that'll knock him down to 10. And then our Retaliate that we have will finish off Rhino. So Rhino's gone. And we still have those Tidal Sands on the table. So we'll draw, let's see what we got here. A Super Dense Strike, Phase Disruption, First Aid and Preemptive Strike. Let's draw our first Tidal Sands card, and it is a Sand Smash Ultra Ego, or when revealed, Hero Sandman attacks you with +1 attack. All right, let's see if we have anything to defend with. Preemptive Strike. We do have a Preemptive Strike. When a boost card is turned face up while a villain attacks, cancel all boost icons. Okay, so we're going to spend our Nerves of Steel to play Preemptive Strike. When a boost card is turned face up while the villain attacks, cancel all boost icons on that card, then deal 1 damage to the villain for each boost icon canceled this way. So that's our Sand Smash. We draw 2 Tombstone. So we stopped it. We hit him for 2. 1, 2. He hits us for 1. That takes us down 1. We also have retaliate because of Vision's cape and we're in dense form, so that knocks him down to 9. And we have electrostatic armor, so that'll knock him down 1 more to 8. We have flow like water. We played that defense card, so that'll knock him down to 7. And we didn't have to exhaust any of these, right? No, we didn't take any damage because we're actually at 3. Sorry about that. So we had that armored vest on, so he did 3 damage to us. So we didn't take any damage. Our second card is Running Interference. When revealed, each player must choose to either spend a mental and fist resource or place 2 threat here. Let me see what I got in my hand. I do have a mental, first aid, and I also have super dense strike. I just don't have any supporting cast right now to knock these threats off of these schemes. I think I'm just going to let it ride. So we're going to put 2 threat plus 1, so 3 threat here on this side scheme, and that way I'll maintain some cards in my hand. Super dense strike, phase disruption. Play only if Vision is in the tangible mass form. Confuse an enemy. Choose an attachment on the enemy. Okay, so we can confuse him, and we can also punch him. Those are our 2 choices that we've got. Thinking, so I can spend. I don't have enough to play them both. I can't remove any threat. I don't have any threat removal. I do have the ability to confuse him, or I could punch him for 5. And I would be able to heal myself. So how about we do this? How about we, intangible mass, we'll spend 2 resources, these 2 here, to play phase disruption, confuse an enemy. So we're going to confuse Sandman. Choose an attachment on an enemy with the text hero action or hero response and discard that attachment. He doesn't have any attachments on him right now, but it will confuse him. So he's feeling a little bit confused right now. And then with our solar gem, we'll heal ourself, our vision self up to full strength to 11, and then we'll flip our form down to intangible, and we'll flip our vision self down to our alter ego. Ready everything. Again, as I mentioned, these protection decks, they can go for a while. We're about 45 minutes in now, and we still haven't defeated the first version of Sandman yet, so I know I'm probably not playing as fast as many of you do, but let's see what happens. We'll draw 6 cards. Nerves of Steel, Energy. I know I've got some, there's a Hickory Lane, there's a Solar Beam, and there's Protector. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards to go into our next turn. So we do place that 1 threat on Hapless Pedestrians. That brings us up to 6. He's confused, so he's not going to scheme. And then we draw 2 cards. Our first one is a sand clone. X is equal to the number of sand counters on the city streets, and whenever we defeat him, we have to do the Surging Sands ability. So right now he's at attack 5. And then we have the Assault, which in Alter Ego form, this gains Surge. So we surge into media coverage, advance to your identity card. When revealed ability that you reveal one additional time. Alter Ego, spend a mental resource to discard this card. So we got that media coverage out there again. And I think we will, on my turn, use my solar gem to get rid of that media coverage. Don't like having it around. No, sir. And then I think we will put out 16 Hickory Branch Lane. 116 Hickory Branch Lane. We'll use our Nerves of Steel to play it out onto the table. Advantage to Hickory Branch Lane says in Alter Ego form, we can search our deck and discard pile for an android ally and add it to your hand. So let's go find an ally. I think I'll go get my... I think I'm going to go find Machine Man. He's the cheapest one, I think. Victor Mancha doesn't help us right now very much. But Machine Man could. So we'll go grab Machine Man using our Hickory Branch Lane. We'll put him onto the table using these two resources here. And then that will allow us to remove one threat from Tidal Sands. So at least it's gone from the table. Tidal Sands is discarded. 1 damage on the Machine Man. On the Machine Man. Now we flip over to our hero form. We are intangible, but we're going to flip to our dense form, which allows us to draw 1 card. So we draw multiple man. We'll spend these 3 resources right here, Defiance, Protector, and multiple man to play the Solar Beam. If Vision is in dense form, deal 7 damage to an enemy. Then we're going to go ahead and do that 7 damage to Sandman to knock him off the stage 1. So he goes all the way down to 0. Sandman stage 1 is defeated. Stage 2 pops out. He comes into play with 18 hit points on him. And let's see what his text says. Whenever he comes out, he says, when revealed, resolve the Surging Sands ability on the city streets. We'll place another counter onto the city streets. That'll put us up to 6. We discard 6 cards, so there's Advance, Corrupted Programming, Sand Form, Calling in Favors, Sand Clone, and that's going to end our deck. So an acceleration token will happen onto Hapless Pedestrians. And it says, Force Response after acceleration token is placed on this scheme, deal 3 indirect damage. So we'll take it all onto Vision here. Gotta shuffle my encounter deck. That Sand Clone has got a little bit too much kick to him right now, because we have 6 tokens on the Surging Sands. So that's terrible. That's a terrible thing. So I'm shuffling my encounter deck here. I'm in hero form. I have nothing else with which I can do, right? So we'll ready everybody. We'll ready our Hickory Branch Lane. Flow Like Water is on the table still. We're at 8 health. And I'm going to draw up my 6 cards. So we're going to draw Density Control. No, we only draw 5 because we're in hero form. Just Passing Through. We have Unflappable, Sidestep, Expert Defense. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Expert Defense. I like that. All right. So here we go. Put 7. We have 7 on Hapless Pedestrians now. Sandman's going to attack Vision. Vision's going to defend this attack, and he is going to spend that expert defense ability. It says when your hero defends against an attack, it gets +3 for that attack. So he's going to be +3. So right now he's sitting at 3, so he's sitting at 6. We draw that encounter card. Oh, and we needed to put an extra threat out there, right? Because 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now he's up to 8. I forgot about that acceleration token. So that sand clone, he's not going to do any damage to us. We did play the flow like water. We do have the flow like water card on the table, which is going to deal 1 damage to the enemy. So he's down to 17. We have retaliate because we're in dense form, so that puts him down to 16. We have electrostatic armor, so that'll drop him down to 15. Expert defense. And let's see. All right. Do I have any others? Didn't cost me anything to play expert defense because it was free. I had a retaliation here and a retaliation here, so that dropped him down to 18. Whew, getting dangerously close. And I think what I'll do next is I will take 7 damage from the sand clone. Nope, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 damage on division. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage onto vision because of that sand clone. Didn't like doing that, but I also didn't want to lose my machine man. Okay. And I didn't want to spend any more cards out of my hand. Now, because the sand clone attacked us, we do have retaliate, so he's going to take a ping. 1 there, and 1 there for electrostatic armor. After you defend against the attack, we did not defend against the attack. So I don't get to deal 1 damage to the sand clone. But I do have retaliate, because I'm in mass form. Okay. So we draw our encounter card, and it is attached to your identity. Attached character cannot ready or change form. Spend 2 resources to discard this card. That's tough, because I was going to flip to my intangible form to remove 3 threat from a scheme. That may be the card that whacks us. All tied up, running interference, attached to your identity card. Cannot ready or change form. Spend 2 resources to discard this card. Oof, that's a toughie. Well, we'll see how it goes. Because this running interference is what's preventing me from removing threat over there right now. So I can use the solar gem to generate a physical resource. And we can use unflappable to get rid of all tied up. Okay, there we go. Now then, we can play just passing through by flipping to our intangible form. Just passing through, we'll use the sidestep to remove 3 threat from a scheme, ignoring patrol keyword and the crisis icon. But we really want to get rid of running interference. So we'll just go ahead and remove those 3 threat off of running interference. Okay, so those are gone. So those side schemes are taken care of. Now, multiple man can remove 1 threat, but if we flip down to our vision form, now we could play our hickory branch lane to go find. We'll just grab protector because it's just going to be a resource at this point. So density control and protector, these are 2 resources that we're going to add to Machine Man's 1 Says he gets +1 thwart and attack for each resource spent this way. So we'll remove 3 threat from here. And we'll place 1 damage on the Machine Man for consequential damage. Oh, I forgot about the Sand Clown. That could do us in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I miscalculated by forgetting to account for the Sand Clone. Right? That's the end of my game. Okay. So, well, let's finish it off. We draw 1 card that decks us. So we deal ourselves 1 encounter card. We'll put it right up here. Yep, that Sand Clone got us. There's just too many counters over there on the city streets. That's, I believe, what's going to do us in, is that Sand Clone. We may not even make it to that point. So we have Genius. We draw 6 cards. We're ready our everything here. Yep, I forgot we had Sand Clone on the table. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Do I have anything to remove threat off turn? I don't have anything in my hand. We'll ready Machine Man. We'll place 2 threat because that acceleration token over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sandman's going to scheme for 1 plus 3. Plus 2 is 3. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So Hapless Pedestrian's threats out. Sand Clone doesn't even need to do anything. We had Tombstone that was getting ready to come out. That would have made just the day even worse. So, oh, yep. So here it is, a Saturday evening. It was an exciting battle, but I lost. So I flipped my own dial this time. Vision, wearing his fancy little sweater there, hanging out back there at his crib, while the whole world crashed down upon him by Sandman and Tombstone. So that was a pretty fun playthrough. It was, I thought I had it under control, but things just, I just didn't do enough management of things on the table. I did get a lot of upgrades and supports onto the table that could really help us out, and got nice solar gem early. We got some retaliate damage, and maybe I missed some of that along the way. I'm happy if you point that out to me, which mistakes that I made while playing this game. But it was fun. I actually went all the way through 50 card deck, so that was interesting. Again, protection decks for me, they tend to drag on through several turns, and so but they are fun. I like getting that set up with all these different protection upgrades. But that's just it. The game's over. So thanks for watching today. If you enjoy watching my videos, please drop a like, or if you want to see future ones, go ahead and subscribe. And if you have any suggestions of things that you would like to see me play on this channel, hey, I'm open to that as well. This is your channel as much as mine, so whatever you'd like to see, and however you can help me. If you saw that some mistakes that I made in this game, or if you saw something that I could have done better, please feel free to include that in the comments down below. Like I said, this is our channel. So thank you for watching today. I hope to be able to bring you another video again soon. And you all take care and have a great weekend.